Good evening, televiewers, and welcome to tonight's edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime TV, the first for this week. Cameroonian politicians are crisscrossing the nation and out of the nation in preparation for this year's presidential elections. There is a very powerful call that has come from one of Cameroon's leading political figure calling for a coalition, an opposition coalition, to rebuild the foundation of Cameroon. She is Madame Kah Wallah, who is the national president of the CPP party. She also heads the Stand Up for Cameroon organization. She's also involved in so many things, which we're going to be discussing away from politics. But tonight, we're going to be focusing on her call for the opposition to stand as one man to save Cameroon from its current problems. She also, in the course of this program, is going to be talking about the so much talked about Anglophone crisis lingering for over 80 years. We're glad to have you with us this evening, Madame Kah Wallah. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. KUM. A pleasure to be here after quite some time. It's been a little while, a few months since I have been here. As you know, it's a crucial time for our country. So I'm very happy to be able to be here to discuss with you.
When I announced today that you were going to be my guest for tonight's edition of the program, so many persons were asking where you have been, what you have been doing this while they've not been hearing about you. Others were even thinking that you dropped out of politics.
I think actually it is Cameroonians who do not
take the time to follow.
Pay attention to politics until we are at election time. When it's election time, Cameroonians are very busy with politics. I can tell you that just within the last year, we've been very busy on questions of fundamental rights for Cameroonians. If you remember the case of Mr. Eve Bobda, that created quite a lot of consternation for Cameroonians, because we had somebody being accused of serial rape in Douala and who was not being arrested by the powers that be. I think that one of the key things we did within the last year was to mobilize political and civil society actors to ensure that that arrest happened. Unfortunately, our judicial system being what it is, we have no idea of the case today and are unsure of what happened. Another very important activity we carried out was, if you remember, when the artist Longue Longue, the videos came out about his torture. We carried out national and international action with leaders from 52 organizations across the country against torture, because we realized, as we have been working on the Boko Haram crisis, the Anglophone crisis, and then individual cases, we have realized that torture is a systemic part of the forces of law and order in Cameroon. In other words, we produced a report which shows that over the years, across the different armed forces, the same torture techniques are used. And in fact, today, what do we see? We see that the Amber Boys, as we call them, they use torture techniques which they have learned from the forces of who are supposed to be of law and order. So we carried out that campaign nationally and then internationally, because Cameroon was before the International Committee Against Torture. So we were able to collaborate with NGOs who were going to be there, and make a very strong case to say that Cameroon has to answer for the torture which it is submitting citizens under. And then I would say, finally, to give you my news, because it looks like I need a news update. Within the last 3 months, we have been training young Cameroonians, and we have been very thrilled to see the response of young Cameroonians. Over 100 young Cameroonians who have responded to be trained on politics in Cameroon. We were approached by especially young women who asked us the question, I want to get involved in politics, but I don't know the first thing about politics. So how do I do it? And we used that as an opportunity to launch a training course at Stand Up for Cameroon. And we were very pleasantly surprised by the response. We had to actually create additional courses because we had so many young people responding. So right now, in this political moment, we are very busy training Cameroonians, because we realize that Cameroonians don't know the political system, don't understand it, and they want change, but they are not sure of what do I do, what can me as a citizen, what can I do? So we've been very busy. Maybe not on the media platforms.
Yes, they want to see, they want to feel and hear from you, and we're grateful you accepted our invitation to be part of tonight's edition of the program. You have made a demand for an opposition coalition to rebuild the foundation of our country, and nothing less. Why now?
Well, I think that the election fever is well underway, right? We are in this moment where we are expecting the electoral body to be convened any day. We are already within the legal period where the electoral body can be convened. And what we have seen in the last, I would say, 3 to 4 months, and we can even go back to the beginning of the year, we have seen that political parties, in their regular activities, because being an electoral year, you expect political parties to be on the field, to be in their headquarters, convening meetings, having meetings with their members, and carrying out their normal political activities of informing Cameroonians and so on. And we noticed that I think it started with the PCRN of Cabral Libby, where he was on the field somewhere in the north and was denied entry. I mean, actually, an elected parliamentarian denied entry into a region for no reason than the pleasure of the DO of that particular district. After that, we saw the SDF having meetings where they had already convened people. In fact, I think one of their own cases, they had even declared and had not received any
authorization?
No, you don't receive an authorization. They had not received any letter, because it's very important for us to remember Cameroon is a declarative regime.
Okay.
When you want to have a meeting as a political party, you declare for reasons of law and order, not for the GO or SDO to start getting into your political business, but for them to ensure that all those coming to the meeting will have their safety and security ensured. The SDF meeting was banned after following the due process. And the last one we saw was, of course, the CRM with Mr. Kamto, who wanted to have a meeting at his headquarters. And
the reception?
Yes, when he was returning from France, he announced he was having a meeting with his members at his headquarters, and we saw that meeting banned, the city, police all over the place, and so on. So the election fever is there. The regime is feeling it. Cameroonians are quite mobilized. We are happy to see Cameroonians standing up, wanting change, coming out behind their different political parties. But we made this call for a coalition. Why? We are taking the discussion absolutely in the wrong direction.
Okay.
The discussion is about people. Oh, I like Joshua Osi better. Oh, I like Cabral Libi. Oh, I like Mr. Maurice Kamto. Oh, this one is an Anglophone. Oh, the other one is a Babeleke. Oh, the other one is a Bassa. Listen, with the current electoral system, none of these individuals are going anywhere. All of this debate about persons is taking the attention away from the fundamental thing. Mr. KUM, I will ask you and our audience one thing. Or no, I will ask two questions. First question, was the election in 2018 free and fair? I think that 90% of Cameroonians, if not more, will tell you that no, it was not. And the reports are there, the observers were there, and so on and so forth. No, it was not. So my second question will be, what has changed? What have we changed in the electoral system since 2018? And the answer is nothing. We have not changed a single thing. So we need to stop this discussion about candidates. We don't have a candidate problem in Cameroon.
Okay.
We have an electoral system problem.
Yeah, but elections are coming up.
No, Mr. KUM.
Okay.
I hear this all the time. Oh, but the elections are coming up, so we should rush and go to bad elections? We should just go as we have been going for the last 30 years. We should just go to bad elections because elections are coming up. Are we reasonable with ourselves? It does not matter that elections are coming up. They have always been coming up. We are at a crucial moment in the history of our nation, and it is time for Cameroonians to form a coalition, not behind X or Y, because forming a coalition behind X or Y in elections which are controlled wholly by the CPDM party is a waste of time and effort. Forming a coalition at this time when the electoral fever is already there and when the Cameroonians are showing that they are ready to stand up, the coalition must be for two things: rights and a good electoral system.
Okay, coalition for the rights and
a good electoral system.
But elections are not organized by the CPDM, like you just said. Elections are organized by Elekam,
Mr. KUM,
which we all know. But when you say, madam, when you say they should form a coalition, not for persons like Honorable Cabral Libi, Honorable Joshua C, or Professor Maurice Kamto, are you saying that they should not go for elections that are coming up in October?
I am saying, number one, elections are organized by CPDM. Let us, if either we are going to go for facts or we are going to give ourselves an illusion. Let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my sentence.
Okay.
Who is Elekam? We have a board of 18 people in Elekam. How many of them were CPDM Central Committee members at the time of their nomination to Elekam?
They are presumed to have resigned.
No. If we are going to be factual with ourselves, Mr. KUM, if I nominate you today from High TV to Elekam, and you tell me that you no longer have, and you have been here for all the years that you have been here, that you no longer have any affiliation to High TV, I will tell you that you are an unserious person. So we should look at those facts. The Constitutional Council has 11 members. 10 of them are CPDM staunch members. One person was deceased, right, on the Constitutional Council and replaced by somebody who was an acting CPDM senator. We must not miseducate Cameroonians, because this is also one of the big fears that I have, that those who want to go to elections are behaving as if we have a problem of a contest between Joshua Osei and Maurice Kamto. That's not our problem. Our problem is to get an electoral system where any of them could be elected. Because right now, the electoral system we have is the one we know. It is the one we have had since 1992. It has gotten worse and worse in every election. CPDM has tightened the system in their favor for every election. As you and I sit here, Mr. KUM, where is the electoral register?
Yeah,
what does the law? What does the law of Cameroon say? Where is the electoral register?
I just wanted to make this. Yeah, because there is Elekam. Elekam is a body that is charged with the organization of elections. If they fail to stay neutral and play the game of the CPDM, the CPDM certainly should not be blamed for that. But are you saying that because Professor Maurice Kamto says, I'm going for elections, Honorable Cabral B says, I'm going for elections, yes, Honorable Joshua Osei, and a host of others, are you telling them not to go for these elections?
I am telling them that now is the time for us to come together, not only as political leaders, but also as civil society actors, as religious leaders, even as private sector actors. It is time for us to come together and demand what we know we need to have good elections in Cameroon. And I'm saying that if we do not do that, if we go and enter the same electoral system which was in place in 2018, when all of these gentlemen went for elections, and every single one of them came out of the 2018 election telling us, crying that there was fraud, right? People of the CRM are still in prison today simply because they said there was fraud. How then do you go to the same elections where there has been no change, where there has been no modification of the electoral process? Are these people serious?
Okay.
If we are serious, we go for a coalition. We are now is the right time, Mr. KUM. People say elections are coming up. It is now. The pressure is on now. No. Let us have a coalition. Let us demand what we know is needed out of the elections in October. And let us go with the power of the Cameroonian people to demand it. But
the CRM said they were not going for elections in 2020 because they wanted a change in the electoral code. Yes, but this has not been done, and they say they are going. Is it not because they have seen that it's impossible to change things the way they are now, but that there is also possibility for them to mobilize for massive registration and then the votes protected?
Mr. KUM, how do you mobilize for massive registration when you have no visibility on the electoral register? The law of Cameroon says the register was supposed to have been published since the 1st of January. We are today, 23rd of June. The electoral body is about to be convened. There's no visibility on the electoral register. So how do you know whether you have mobilized or you have not mobilized? That is number one. Number two is you talk about protecting the vote. Protecting the vote means people sitting in the election in the polling stations and waiting for the count of the vote, right?
Yes.
Did we not have that in 2018?
Maybe the mobilization was
have
not
we
as,
have we not
now.
had that for every election since 1992? We have had it. The question in Cameroon is always when the results begin to be pronounced, not at the polling station level, but at the national level. That is where things fall apart. And what happened to the CRM in 2018 when they went before the Constitutional Council? What happened to them? Has that Constitutional Council changed? Is there something I'm not aware of in Cameroon? Has anything changed? We cannot, they say to do the same thing repeatedly is to be a mad person. We cannot continue doing the same thing repeatedly. Going to elections with the BR regime without carrying out any major movement. None of these candidates, and that is where my call to them is so very strong, because none of them has carried out any major action in concert with other actors to actually get electoral reform.
Yeah, but we have there's a coalition that was formed there, where we had Madam Tomaino,
yes.
We had Honorable Cabral Libi was there,
Yes.
Professor Maurice Kamto was there, Honorable Joshua C. We had USDP President Prince Ekoso was also part of it.
Yes.
That was also a coalition. They have worked for years now.
Oh, what did they do?
They made a proposal to Elekam.
So, if you make a proposal to Elekam, if you make a proposal in writing to Elekam, this is what we have done since 2004. At the time when that coalition was formed, we were not invited, but when we were eventually invited, we said no, we are not coming to work on proposals, because since 2004, the Cameroonian opposition, the Cameroonian civil society has been sending proposals of electoral reform to the Cameroonian government, to the BR regime. None of those proposals has been accepted. What will create acceptance, what will pressure the government, is for us to come together as actors for action. Number one, to say no elections until we get reforms. Number two, to say Cameroonians are coming out for protest until we get reforms. This is what brings change in a country. I hear Cameroonians all of the time, or I hear them in this moment comparing themselves to Senegalese. Oh, but look at Senegal, they got behind Sonko and they got change. Please, let us be factual, not one. However, Cameroonians are giving their lives every single day to bad governance.
Yeah.
Every single day. We are dying on the roads. We are dying in hospitals. We are dying for lack of basic health care. Every single day, we are dying from bad governance. That is number one. Number two is that we, the opposition, we, the civil society, have never killed anybody in a political protest.
Yeah, but
so that the direction of those who should avoid any violence, who should avoid any Cameroonian life being lost, must go to the regime.
Yeah, but do you also
because the right to protest, I checked it again today. It is in the constitution of Cameroon.
It is in the constitution. This is an
Yes.
elections year now.
Yes.
You say political parties should not go to elections, are you also not denying them their right to go to elections and also Cameroonians their right to vote?
I am saying we should go to elections. We should do the work to be able to go to good elections. Why is Cameroon less than Senegal? Less than Ghana?
The Cameroon is not Senegal.
Less than Ghana? Are we less than Botswana? Botswana just went to beautiful elections and changed their president. Why do we spend? We have had the BR regime for 43 years. 43 catastrophic years. It gets worse and worse every year. And I have asked you two simple questions, and I challenge anybody in my audience to respond to me.
Yep.
Where did we have bad elections in 2018? And the answer is a big fat yes. Has anything changed in the electoral process?
Okay.
The answer is no. It is actually worse. In 2018, by this time, the electoral register was published.
I'm sure militants of the CPDM who won the elections will tell you that elections were free, fair, and transparent to an extent.
Oh, what does that mean, to an extent? What is the extent? What is the extent? What is the limit of the extent?
Okay, madam. So when you say you want a coalition, and that coalition at this moment is for parties to come together, which I already demonstrated that they already did for years, to pressure for electoral reforms.
They did not. They did not pressure for electoral reforms.
Were they meeting
No, they met. They gathered the reforms. I've actually won, as I told you, we participated. We sent in our reforms.
Okay.
And they have a final document of reforms. So they did work to agree on key reforms. They did that. But what's the next step? After you agree on key reforms, you must carry out actions which pressure this regime into actually getting the reforms. Otherwise, you have not done the work.
Maybe they have exhausted what they could do. And
no, they have not.
Because if you look at those who were part of that, I don't know whether it's a coalition for requesting for a reform. We had Madame Tomaino Damjia, who is going for elections,
Yes.
You have Professor Maurice Kamto, who says he's going for elections. You have Honorable Joshua Osi, who says he's going for elections. You have Honorable Kabralibi. All of them say they are going for elections. It means that maybe some discussions have taken place, and they are sure.
Maybe discussions have taken place. What discussions?
I don't know.
Cameroon electoral process is public affair. It is not a matter of secret discussions here and there. If there was electoral reform, we would know about the electoral reform. Electoral reform must take place. It must go through the National Assembly. This is not a secret affair. It's not something for somebody to decide behind the house with another person. This is public. These are the public affairs of the nation of Cameroon. So the question is, Mr. Kum, I think there is something that you don't realize. The political parties represent the people. But political parties have interests which are not exactly the same as the interests
of the people.
I will tell you, none of these candidates that you have mentioned am I referring to, but I had a discussion with a very young candidate recently, and I said, do you think you can win the election? And he laughed. And he said, no, madam, I know I cannot win the election. So I said to him, but then why are you going in for elections? And he said to me, to get known as a party and as a political leader, which as a political party makes perfect sense. You go for a national campaign, you get known as a political leader, and he was very honest with me and told me that my actual ambition is for municipal and legislative elections. But if I go for the presidential elections,
many more persons are going
my
to
party becomes known. Many more people become know me. I create a dynamic, and then I can go for the municipal and parliamentary elections. So do you see, Mr. KUM, that not everybody is going into that election to win?
Okay.
The political parties have other interests and other ambitions. So then I took the conversation with him further. And I said, okay, you want to go for municipal elections, you want to go for parliamentary elections. How long has the Cameroonian opposition been holding municipal seats and parliamentary seats?
Mm-hmm.
For how many years? And he looked at me and I said, we have held municipal seats and parliamentary seats. I myself was a municipal councillor, elected municipal councillor at one time, for over 30 years. For over 30 years, the Cameroonian opposition has been in municipal and in municipalities and parliament. There was one point in time for over a decade in the Northwest region, the SDF controlled 32 out of the 34 councils. Is it 34 or 36? My numbers may be off, but the SDF control all but 1 or 2 councils in the Northwest region. Mr. KUM, did the lives of citizens in the Northwest region improve?
Okay.
So I just want to conclude on this point. Political parties have their interests, which are normal, legitimate political interests, but they are not always the interests of citizens. And we must know that when somebody is going in for a presidential election, it's not always because he or she thinks that they're going to win.
Okay. Wasengeti is watching us from Kumba. Beninla Olive is watching us from Ndu. Ngwang Aderi is watching us. Bali Dennis is watching us from Malabo. Yuven Wu says is watching from Van in Yaoundé. Chance Kebi Bright is watching the program. Enjoying the program from Kumba. Neba Mbe is watching us from the United Kingdom. Mbi Alain is watching us from Yaoundé. Simbok Abasi Ndu Chuamang is watching us from Yaoundé Tinga. Ngongang Aevo is watching us from Bomenda. Emmanuel Ngo Fondo. Okay. Says, good evening, Mr. Lee. I'm watching from Ginicom. Please ask Madam Edith, why can she not go back to the SDF? I'm going to come to questions. So many persons have written, have sent questions even before the program. I'm going to ask those questions to her. And if you have more of those questions, send them to me. Ndong Peter is watching us from Kwen in Bomenda. Sergio Ramos is watching us from Limbe. But you raise an issue, which I'm going to read, Madam. You talk about all leaders at all times can and should be criticized. This is how we maintain democracy and avoid authoritarianism. As you know, I believe Bia and all the guys are going to leave. As we get rid of them, we must begin to exercise the new political and governance behavior we strive for. Kamto must not be criticized because he's Bamileke. Libby must not be criticized because he's Basa. Usi must not be criticized because he's an Anglophone. There are not, these are not arguments. What are you trying to say?
Mr. KUM, unfortunately, we saw this in 2018 and we are seeing it once again. The opposition candidates, as they seek to position themselves as the number one candidate, their members, their militants, their followers very quickly go into very personal insults and discussions about he's a Bamileke, we cannot allow them to come to power because of blah 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 blah. Or he's a Bassa. Or they are very wicked people. If they get to power, this is going to happen. Or he's an Anglophone. With the Anglophone crisis, he has a lot of anger. He will come with vengeance, and especially on social media, they get into these fights, which are extremely disturbing. And people behave as if their candidate cannot be criticized or should not be criticized.
You criticize them, you are taken for an enemy.
Yes. This is such dangerous behavior. We must remember that all of us are children of dictatorship. We are the children of Ahidjo and Biya, both of them dictators. If we want to move from dictatorship to democracy, we must begin behaving in that democratic fashion. Every leader, Mr. KUM, every single leader should be criticized. I would even say must be criticized, because they are very simple human beings. None of them is a god, as far as we know. If we stop to criticize human beings, they get out of hand. This is what history tells us time and time again. If human beings do not have checks and balances, they go out of control and they become autocrats. I am not willing, I am absolutely not willing to leave 43 years of Mr. Biya, add 22 that I lived under Mr. Ahidjo. I am not willing to go for a third autocrat. I am not willing to live in a society where if somebody is the head of state and we say, I don't like his policy on X, Y, or Z, and we say he must explain himself on A, B, or C, that becomes some kind of crime. That becomes something for which people will insult you, punch you, want to kill you, because you have said that you do not agree with their candidate on point X or point Y. I can tell you, Mr. KUM, I want to get to a good electoral process, because where all of these candidates are concerned, all of them, no holds barred, boy, I have questions for them. Let us get to where we are having a good election so that we can ask questions, proper questions to our candidates.
To everybody.
To everybody. We have a series of candidates now. You have cited them. Akere Muna, Joshua Osi, Maurice Kamto, Cabral Libi. I have been fighting on the Anglophone crisis for the last 8 years. I have not seen these gentlemen. I've not seen them. I've not seen them. Over half of them have not even set foot in the Anglophone region since the crisis started. Okay,
we're going to be talking about that very shortly.
Yes. So we have questions for them. As a woman, I have questions for them.
Boa, can you work on the synchronization? There is an issue with synchronization. This one says, Mr. KUM, I'm watching from Bengui. Okay, the person watching from Bengui, we're going to work on that. Good evening, sir. Watching from Douala Makepe. An interesting topic. Tell Edith Kah Wallah that I love her energy this evening. She should keep up. Okay. Banonga Winfred. Okay. Banonga Winfred. I'm going to move to your questions, but I think 3 persons are writing to us to ask me to ask you why you left the SDF and why are you not going back.
Oh my
Greetings,
goodness.
Mr. KUM Leonard. I'm enjoying the program and I'm watching from Bangem in Kupe Mwanenguba division. Okay. Yes.
Oh my goodness. What an old story that people always like to come back to. I left the SDF for a very simple reason. I think we have touched upon it earlier in the program. Let me start with why I joined the SDF.
Okay.
Down the BR regime. That was my perception from the outside. When I got into the SDF, I discovered that the party had become very complacent and very comfortable being the official opposition. So, SDF parliamentarians had won seats. When you are a parliamentarian in this country, it means you have a lot of income. It means you have very significant income, but parliamentarians are earning anywhere between 2 to 5 million francs per month. It's a very a comfortable position to be in. SDF was controlling councils, and they had lost the hunger to actually bring down the regime. That is what I discovered on the inside. I do not have any interest in politics other than to bring an end to our current dictatorship and to build the Cameroon that we deserve. So holding a position of mayor or parliamentarian is personally of no interest to me whatsoever. And it will not. We have seen it over the last 43 years, over the last 30 years. It does not do anything to help the life of the average Cameroonian. We have so many opposition parliamentarians, so many opposition mayors and councillors. Their hands are tied. They cannot actually carry out action that improves the lives of citizens. They can earn an income for themselves. They can help out their family members, but they cannot do much to actually get Cameroonians water, electricity, a road, healthcare, a school, the things that actually improve the lives of the ordinary citizen. So the reason I left the SDF was because they had lost the hunger, the fight to actually bring down this regime and effect fundamental systemic change.
Okay, I first brought that because at least 3 persons have written requesting and also asking why you are not going back. Just to tell them that you now had another political platform called the CPP,
Cameroon People's Party,
and then you also are heading Stand Up for Cameroon, amongst other platforms. So, but you are also very concerned with the fact that militants or followers are very intolerant towards criticism directed at their respective heads.
Yes.
But they themselves, are they not reading? Because you are concerned because you read. This
yes.
Why are they not calling their supporters to order? Because we have seen so many persons lynched on the social media space in the name of different political parties.
Mr. KUM, you see why I say I want a good electoral process. We have so many questions to ask the candidates. For me, this is an indicator of bad leadership. I'm so sorry, but the quantity, we cannot, if you are head of a political party, there's no way you can control all of your militants. This is impossible. But the quantity of this hatred and vilifying and attacking of people. I have personally been the object on multiple occasions. And not only that, when the attacks against me have occurred, they have not occurred by random militants. They have occurred by people who are in the direct circle of the president of a political party. Never once has one of those presidents picked up their phone when I have been attacked and said to me, "Oh, Madam Wallah, my apologies. Somebody got out of hand on my team," as you know, because we all know ourselves personally. As you know, I have nothing against you, and I apologize for this misbehavior. That would have been the thing to do as a leader. That is what you do. You cannot, I can tell you that one of my lieutenants, my secretary general, one of my secretary generals, the people who are around me every day, cannot go attacking another political leader without my knowledge.
Calling them to order.
Yeah. And if they do, they will be called to order. And if they do, I will reach out to that political leader to say, "My apologies, I do not agree with this. It is unacceptable." We see political leaders who their militants act as if they are a pack of wolves. When they want to attack somebody, they come and Mr. KUM, this is such a sign of bad leadership. It is such an indicator to me that you will not be able to lead Cameroon. It is such an indicator to me that you are no different than the CPDM regime, because that is what CPDM does to us. Because we dare to oppose, we become objects of attack. So you are not yet in power. You actually don't have power. And you are able to unleash venom like this on people. So the day you will have power, what can we expect? What will we expect from you? So that is why that statement is in the call, because, and I want to ask Cameroonians, please refrain from this. Please refrain from insulting, going into people's ethnicity, their state of marriage, their children, or whatever. We are here for political change. We are here for the political change which builds our country. We are here for political change which will enable us to heal the wounds of the past. We have many wounds. We have wounds between the North and the South. We have wounds between Anglophone and Francophone. We have so many wounds. Please do not increase and add to the wounds. We already have so much work to do. And you must question leaders. You must question your leaders. If their followers are attacking people for their political opinions, attacking people because somebody says vote for Madam Kah Wallah, the next person says no, vote for Mr. KUM. Madam Kah Wallah's supporters now begin to attack that person simply because he has chosen a different person. This is unacceptable. It does not in any way resemble the Cameroon that we want to build for the future, that we want our children to live in, that we want to live in. So my appeal to Cameroonians is to end this. And you see, Mr. KUM, why we need a coalition. Because we need a coalition to discuss amongst ourselves some of these issues and to agree on minimum codes of conduct as we go into an election. Otherwise, what are we trying to change? I am not interested in a change that simply changes people. Musical chairs. We remove Mr. Bia, we put Mr. Y, and there we continue with the same system. No, it is of no interest to me whatsoever. We must fundamentally change the system. We have to put citizens at the center. We have to make decisions with regard to citizens' needs. If we are insulting those citizens, we are refusing to listen to those citizens are an enemy because they have a different opinion, how will we serve them? We are at a very, very crucial time in our political life, and we can seize this moment and make fundamental political change.
Okay.
Or we can lose it.
Hello, greetings to you, my Media Prime. I'm Zifo from Boya. I support the alliance of opposition parties to put their forces together and keep the regime out. Good evening, Mr. Kuman, Ma Edith. I'm Onyepo Omega Nkei, enjoying the program from Boya. Please, Mr. Liu, permit mother to talk out the facts. We are interested in them. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and our political giant, Madam Kah Wallah, in the studio. The main reason why these political leaders like Kamto and Cabral are going in for 2025 elections, even after their demands for the promulgation of electoral code has not yielded fruits, is simply because they want to challenge the government with rumors started spreading that their parties are not eligible this year. Valentine, okay, is writing there. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Love your program, sir. My contribution here is that even with alliance, nothing may change. The only change is when there is free, fair, and transparent elections and results proclaimed regionally. Njikam Salifu is writing from Mar 16. Good evening to you, Salifu, and to family. Good evening, Mr. KUM and Madam Kah Wallah. Dange Rebecca connecting from Douala. I love Madam for her straightforward points. Okay, she's always clear in her ideologies. Let the opposition leaders listen and take action. If not, let them gather all lawyers in the world to face Constitutional Council after declaring the incumbent up. Okay. Good evening, Mr. KUM. I'm enjoying the program and I'm watching from Bangam. Good evening, sir. Watching from Douala. Okay. This one is good evening, sir. Yvonne Belen watching from Bankim in Adamawa region. Please help me ask Madam Kah Wallah why she left the SDF. She answered that already.
But good evening to Bankim. Very happy to know that we are being watched in Bankim.
Okay. And Madam, you started talking about I don't know how many times you've been to the Northwest and Southwest region since the start of this crisis, and we are talking about the elections that are coming up in October. You sound worried.
Yes.
That you have been there severally. I don't know whether you are ready for elections or not, but you sound worried that those who want to go for these elections have not been there.
I am absolutely worried about that. And I want us to really take time, because I think the Anglophone population finds itself in a very precarious situation with regard to these elections. One is that we have had a crisis for the last 8 years. We have people who say they want to be president of Cameroon who have not visited the crisis regions within the past 8 years. Some of them have claimed that the Anglophone crisis is the reason they are running and so on and so forth, but they have never stepped foot in the region for the past 8 years. They are now in the 2018 election, they decided to go for elections. If you remember at the time, we said don't go because the crisis in the regions are such. That is why I talked about rights at the beginning of this program. Will the person living in Bangem, the person living in Santa, the person living in Fotokol in the extreme north, will these people be able to exercise their rights as Cameroonians? Will they be able to go and vote? In the 2018 election, those who dared to go out and vote, some of them paid with the price of their life. We have not yet counted, Mr. KUM, how many people died because of the 2018 election in the crisis regions.
Yes.
We don't have a count, but we know that people died. We don't have a count. We know that people lost their limbs, that their hands were cut off, their legs were cut off because they decided to go and vote. So my question is, if you have the interests of the nation at heart, you have the interests of the Anglophones at heart, how do you spend the last 7 years? You do not visit them. You do not come to any discussion regarding the Anglophone crisis. You do not come to any meeting. You do not come together. This is part of what I'm talking about as a coalition.
Even creating platform to discuss about
to discuss about this. Yes, to discuss about this issue. You have no discussion about the issue. But now you are asking those Anglophones again to risk their life to go and vote for you, to risk their limb to go and vote for you, because that's what we are doing. If we do not form a coalition, for me, the coalition has two things. One, we must talk about the rights of those in the crisis regions. And we must put before the regime as a precondition for elections this time around, because we did not do it in 2018, and those regions paid the highest price. If we are saying we have to go for elections again, the least we should have, Mr. KUM, is a consensus amongst ourselves as political leaders, civil society leaders, and religious leaders, which we put before the government to say, you want to go for elections, sign here that you are agreeing to this roadmap. I am not how do you say, unrealistic, feeling that we'll solve the crisis before we go for elections. What we are saying is that there should be a roadmap.
Okay.
Because in 2018, we went in, or people went in, feeling that after the election, the government will solve the crisis. Here we are 8 years later. Crisis completely unresolved. If the incidents of violence have died down, you and I know they have not ended, and that still till today, every day, people are being killed. A friend of mine, it's about 2 weeks ago, we were supposed to be on a Zoom call. I talked to him at 9 a.m. in the morning. I said we were meeting with a very, very important partner. I get on the call. I don't see him on the call. I said, this is somebody very responsible. I know he takes life seriously and so on. We managed the call. I get off the call. I go to him. He said, you will not believe my nephew was just killed. So we are still in a situation where in the Northwest and Southwest, people are living in total insecurity.
There should be clear guidelines.
We should have a roadmap to lead out of the crisis as a precondition to anybody going to election. And we should have a discussion and a consensus amongst ourselves as opposition leaders to say, are these regions fit for purpose? Are they fit to go to election, or are we saying outright that we are going to have an election in 8 regions or in 7 regions? Okay. I don't have an answer, but I say that these are discussions which must be had, because last time we went to elections, people lost their lives, they lost their limbs, and on top of that, the CPDM stole all the votes in the regions. So if we do not discuss and we do not put any preconditions on the table, we are saying we are okay with that, and we should leave those regions to fend for themselves.
Those elections results were read by ELECAM and the Constitutional Council. But I don't know how you say the CPDM has told. We should blame Elekam for that. Good evening, Mr. Leo and my big sister Kah Wallah. I'm watching from Boya. Congratulations on your interview. Always proud to see your voice and leadership being shared. Keep inspiring and speaking truth to power. Wishing you continued strength and impact. Okay, Barrister Agbobala, watching from Boya.
Hello, Barrister.
Good evening, Prezi Bala. Glad to know that you're watching us from Boya. And Madam Kah, so many messages are coming in and questions for you. But what you are saying, you are making a call. Is this call not coming a little bit too late? Because most of these guys have declared already that they are going for elections. Are you asking them now to come back to the drawing board to see what they can do? This
call is coming at the perfectly right time.
But they have declared already.
Yes, they have declared, and it is their right to declare, and it is a good thing that they have declared, because by declaring, they have told us who has a vested interest in good elections. They are saying that they have a vested interest in good elections. If they do not have a vested interest in good elections, it means that they are part of the game.
Okay.
It means that they are part of the game. So, since they have a vested interest in good elections, now is the time to come together. It is not late for anything. Now is the time to come together, demand a roadmap for the crisis regions, demand electoral reforms, at least for Elekam to follow the law. Mr. KUM, how can we be going? I keep asking you, where is the electoral register? According to the law in Cameroon, that electoral register should be public at this moment that you and I are speaking. It is not. So you believe that Elekam, on a simple thing like publishing the electoral register, does not publish the electoral register according to the law, but it is results that they will pronounce according to the law? Are we serious with ourselves? This is how we got to 43 years. This road is how we got to 43 years.
Madam Kah,
if we don't change what we are doing and how we are doing it, unfortunately, I will be back here in November, Mr. KUM, and we will be shouting as we shouted in 2018. Oh, as if we didn't know.
Madam Kah, you followed the outing of the bishops,
yes.
Bishops who say that they should, anyway, they call for some of them. Was for the president not to stand, and they were questioned to stay and preach the Bible to the people because they are shepherds in the vineyard of God. But we also saw chiefs who came out and endorsed the president of the republic.
Yes.
And should these bodies not play neutral? I'm talking about the bishops and the chiefs on the other side.
So, number one, it is very important to note everything that the bishop said. Not just that the president is too old to stand, right? But also that we should have free and fair elections, right? This is why I say the coalition at this time should not only include the political parties. Being a good shepherd is making sure that your flock have water to drink, making sure that your flock have food to eat, making sure that your flock has a job, making sure that your flock, when they are sick, they can get affordable health care. So the bishops are doing exactly what they are supposed to do. Actually, I met with some priests at an airport just a few days ago, and we greeted each other as good Cameroonians, and we talked a little bit, and I actually told them they are not doing enough. They are not doing enough, because respect for human rights, respect for the rule of law, ensuring that we have a framework in Cameroon. The bishops did not come out for candidate A or candidate Y. The bishops said, let us have good elections, and they said the most obvious thing in the world, Mr. Kum. You and I would never allow our father, our uncle, our big brother, who is 91 years old, to get up every day and go to the farm.
When you say the priest,
we would not.
When you say the priests are not doing enough, are you now wanting the priests to play your role, the role of politicians?
Mr. Kum,
if you expect more from them,
no, please.
What would you say of the political parties?
Let's please get on this point for a minute,
okay?
Because I think there's a lot of confusion about it. A good electoral system is not the job of political parties.
Okay.
It is the job of citizens. Every single citizen. Because it is that electoral system that will choose those who are elected to govern the lives of all of us as citizens. Our job as political parties, we are salespeople. You are supposed to have a good electoral system, and then we come in with our political programs and make our proposals and make our pitch, as they call it. That's our job. The job of good electoral process, of rule of law, of ensuring that political parties can hold a political meeting. Because you people keep asking us, Madam Kah Wallah, her house is being surrounded by police today. Tomorrow, she's being put in front of Mami Wata with a cannon. The next day, she is being... So, that's my job? Is that my job?
I'm talking about political parties.
All those things have happened to me as a political party leader. Is that my job? That's not the job. That's not the job description. So when all of those things are happening, it is the problem of the whole society, because what it means is that we are not free to choose our leaders. We are not free to sanction our leaders. In every country, you should be able to sanction your leader and remove them from power because they're not doing the job that they're supposed to do. So, when I say the bishops should do more, it is not to come and join a political party. It is not for them to come out and say, I want candidate X or candidate Y. It is for them to join hands with us, with civil society actors, with private sector, to ensure that the conditions of a good electoral system are in place. To ensure that in this political moment, their flock in the northwest and in the southwest are safe. Nobody, Mr. Kum, nobody should be risking their life because they want to go and vote.
Yeah, but is that not also,
it's unacceptable.
Is that not also the sure way of changing things? Maybe the people think that the government is not doing enough to solve their problem. So why not also vote somebody who may easily solve their problem? Because
the electoral system doesn't work. We have 30 years of experience.
Remember that most of the politicians have said that the first 100 days they are going to use it to solve the Anglophone problem. So why not give a chance? Yeah, that is what almost everybody is saying.
Mr. Kum, the electoral process in Cameroon doesn't work. This is 30-year-old news. It's not news of today or tomorrow or day before. This is 30-year-old news. The electoral process does not work. The last time we came close, because the other thing is to watch. Next time I come, I'll bring the statistics. Mr. Biya's performance, as his performance in governance has decreased, so his electoral performance has increased. Every year he has a few more votes. The last time we were close was in 1992. That's the last time we were close. After that, he's 60%, 70%, 80% for him alone, because they entirely control the system. And until we wrest that control from them, until we remove them from that control of the electoral system, we are playing a game where they win every time. But let's stop playing the game.
But you said this SDF won seats in some municipalities in the northwest region.
Sure.
We have Kabralibi, who has some councils in Sanaga Maritime.
And my question to you my question to you is, what has changed in the lives of citizens? We have a centralized dictatorial system. When we say centralized, what happens? They keep within their possession power and money. I am a decentralization expert. I've been working on decentralization in this country since the late 90s. We have experimented all kinds of solutions at local government level, and solutions that work. Solutions that have gotten commendations from this very government. But the government will not release the money. And even CPDM mayors will tell you this, will not release the money that will enable local governments to actually function and deliver goods and services to citizens. That is why it is not about changing Mr. Bia to put Mr. X. It is about fundamentally transforming the system.
Fundamentally, what do you want transformed in the system as it exists today?
The system of governance. Number one.
Let's take CPP as an example.
Yes.
Who takes over Cameroon? What are they dumping decentralization in the bin?
We are, you know, people get caught up in terms. Okay. I watch this debate all the time. Oh, we are for federalism. Oh, we are for decentralization. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is how much money is moving from the center to the regions. That is what matters. What matters is how much power is moving from the center to the regions. So for the CPP, we should be doing best practice in Africa. Best practice in Africa is that 40% of the national budget is spent at the local level. Do you know what the Cameroon percentage is now? The official percent by law is 15.
Yeah.
And what actually gets spent is less than 10%. And we have been there, stuck there, Mr. KUM, since 1998, when I started working on decentralization here in Douala 1 with Mayor Leonard Njakwa of the SDF. So that is fundamental transformation of the system.
Okay. Resources and power should move down.
Move down because why? Because you have put the citizen at the center. The most important in Cameroon, you know, it is. I always draw attention to this symbolism in Cameroon. In Cameroon, if a minister enters here now, the police will beat you and me to make room for the minister. Right? What does that tell you? The citizen is of little to no importance. The person whom the citizen pays, because it is you and I who pay the minister's salary, that is the person who is important. This is completely turned around. When you go to democratic parts of the world, ministers, I visited Singapore. Singaporean ministers hold a public meeting every single month. Every single month, they face citizens, for citizens to question them on the governance that they are doing for them. And Singapore runs pretty well. When you go to other parts of the world, elected officials, parliamentarians, mayors, they have to face their citizens and be questioned. You see this thing I was talking about earlier about the importance of questioning and criticizing? This is democratic practice. This is democratic practice. In Cameroon, you will want to even ask a question, not even criticize. You want to ask the question to the minister. Somebody will say, no, shh, no, don't disturb. How can I, the citizen, be disturbing the person who works for me?
Okay. I'm for Haddison. I'm watching from Yaoundé, Take us say. Lots and lots of persons are watching us from Yaoundé this evening. Good evening. I'm Derek. I'm watching you guys from Mutengele. Good evening to you, Derek. Good evening, Mr. KUM. Joe Stanley watching from Besi Tibato in Mbengui. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm enjoying the program from Boya. I support the idea of a coalition between the opposition parties, but with the way the country is, all the parties are looking out for their own interests and not what will best for the nation. Cause if they decide to come together into a coalition for one election and combine their votes, surely change will come. But the vote has been divided to about 20 different candidates. I'm Cedric writing from Boya. Good evening to you, Cedric. But this call, have you engaged the political parties themselves?
Of course. Of course. And
you guys are in discussion?
we have to so I want to say hello to Mbengui, say hello to Yaoundé, and say hello to Cedric in Mutengene, I believe.
Yeah.
And I want to say to Cedric that you, Cedric, as a citizen, you have a role to play. You have a role to play, which is to demand of us as political leaders to form this coalition. Not to go behind one person, because Cedric is talking about dividing the vote. The vote is not divided. If Bia wins by 80%, it doesn't matter how you divide the remaining 20%. It's of no consequence whatsoever. So we have to come together as a coalition to demand fundamental electoral reforms, to remove the grip of the CPDM on the electoral process. We have, Mr. KUM keeps saying it's a LECAM. We have a Minister of Territorial Administration who is one of the most active members of the CPDM. You talked about chiefs the other day. Just a while ago, about chiefs who went in. Where did they go, Mr. KUM? Where did those chiefs go? They went to the Ministry of Territorial Administration.
They had a session at the Palais de Congrès.
They went to the Ministry and the Minister of Territorial Administration, paid for by me, because I pay his salary, was doing his party work on my time. He was doing his party work on my time with my money. Me, who belongs to another political party. This is the system where you feel that we can beat them. Okay. Going to the same Minister of Territorial Administration who is banning party meetings here, who is deciding who is going to be party president here and there. It makes no sense.
The deals are actually validating those meetings.
So no, they are not. Let's talk facts. They are not.
Can we
DOs are not supposed to. They have no power over political meetings.
Okay, you answered.
Yes, we want to talk about the chiefs.
The chiefs, yes.
Yes. So we have chiefs who, by the way, many Cameroonians don't know this. Chiefs receive salaries from the government of Cameroon. They are what are called auxiliaries of the administration, and so they get salaries. And so this is how they are held and contained, is by the salaries and the little benefits that they get from the government. And it is absolutely, completely inappropriate and unacceptable for the Minister of Territorial Administration, who is the supervisory authority for chiefs, to call them on the taxpayers' dime and to obtain their support for a political candidate.
They
This is totally unacceptable.
They walked up to the minister. The minister did not. I'm not sure he forced them. Did he force them?
Who called them to Yaoundé? They all got there by accident.
They gathered themselves.
They got there by accident.
They gathered themselves.
No,
they gathered themselves.
No, Mr. Kuma. And then what was he doing there?
Yeah, they are auxiliaries.
They are auxiliaries, and so they are not supposed to be doing political party business on our time, on our money. We are the ones who pay those salaries to the chiefs.
Okay,
that's taxpayer money.
Okay, my humble greetings. I have always wished to ask this question. Are there many opposition parties failing to understand that their incompetence to seize power in this country for more than 42 years is due to their division, divergent views, and non-alliance among themselves? Javis Fung writing there. George Bison says, I'm eagerly, I want to watch Madame. Leonga Frank says, the coalition is existing just verbally. What is and others doing for a coalition to be pragmatic? Danigo Funky says, what's wrong with Kamto Akere Libi and OC to join heads as one? Why can't they accept the most popular figure could lead the coalition? Do we have opposition leaders that are sponsored by the regime in power to stand against coalition? If yes, the figure should be sidelined. Danny Funky, writing from Santa Menka, okay?
That's my hometown.
Okay.
Santa.
Okay.
Not, yeah.
Okay. Previous Bless from KUM LEONARD, okay. Kah Wallah claimed she left the Social Democratic Front SDF due to divergence of opinion regarding party strategy, particularly concerning the 2011 presidential election, stating that the SDF no longer shared the same ideals she shared, especially regarding the presidential elections. How can she prove that the CPP she created is not a faction of the ruling party? But I think she explained herself already. This one says, what is happening? Okay. This one, Frederick says, Kah Wallah is the only one in the opposition who perfectly understands the political system in the country. Ask her why her message is not going through. She'll answer you.
Yes.
This one says, where has she been? She has been missing, okay? Jam Kenneth song says, that was Pamela saying you have been missing. Jam Kenneth says, ask her why she has been so cool about Cameroon politics. You see, many persons are asking where you've been.
Yes.
Regarding the elections coming up, what is her advice to the candidates and citizens? Okay. This one says, you spoke electoral code, but nothing has changed. Please, can you drop your candidacy to be the first Anglophone president who is a woman? The methods to do this, of which I will not mention here. Lastly, try to think of a coalition. Okay. Yes. This one says, thank you for the program. I would like to know where she has been and what is her plan in 2025. This one says, is she a Pan-African leader? Can she take Cameroon out of the French neo-colonial captivity? Ibrahim Funky says, we understand the word coalition is coming up today as so strong, but she was one who started it some years ago. So ask her what she thinks needs to be done so that opposition candidates can agree on it, okay? This one says, will it not be good if she supports an Anglophone candidate rather than in Kamto? Okay, this one says, what is really difficult for the opposition leaders to form a coalition? Greetings, Edwin says, greetings, Mr. Leo. Any way forward for the Anglophones? Okay. Tanla Yunu says, will there be a coalition, yes or no? This one, okay? Yes.
Okay. So, the question about, we have been talking about coalition for a long time, and what is the difficulty in political leaders coming for a coalition? I want the viewers to read the appeal, Mr. Kum. I hope we can connect it somehow.
For those, yes, just write me. I'll share.
Yes. Please write and get a copy, because We are not calling for a coalition behind one candidate.
Please write me after this, because I know you start sending those messages.
Yes.
Write me after this program for me to share a call with you.
Just a few minutes. Just a few minutes. So the coalition we are talking about is not to come behind X, Y, or Z leader. And this answers also those who are saying, why don't I stand behind this one or behind the other one?
Oh, but they are also asking you to stand.
Or why don't I stand myself? We have, it is, let me use my football analogy. I always like to go to the football analogy because all Cameroonians understand football. The Cameroonian election is like going for a football tournament where the stadium is on a hill. There is one team at the top of the hill, and the 9 other teams are at the bottom of the hill. So the slope is slanted. The lines, the way the lines have been drawn, they are shifting throughout the game. So the line, when you think that you are out of bounds, then the line shifts and you are no longer out of bounds. You think you are in bounds, the line shifts and now you are out of bounds. The referees are from the team which is at the top of the hill. The lines men and women are from the team which is at the top of the hill. The people selling tickets to enter the tournament are from the team which is at the top of the hill. What type of football tournament is this? And are we going to solve the problem by getting behind one of the 9 candidates at the bottom of the hill? We are not. Getting behind one candidate is no solution for the electoral system in Cameroon, which is completely controlled by the Biya regime. The results of the last few elections tell us when Mr. Biya is winning by 68%, 70-something percent, so on, is it by coming together and getting 30% that we are going to win the election? The answer is no. We need a level playing field. We need for referees not to be from one camp or the other. We need, in the case of the Cameroonian election, just 2 reforms. There are 2 reforms which, if they took place, will completely transform the electoral system. Number 1 is a 2-round election. Why is Cameroon almost the only country in Africa left that does not have a 2-round election? Second reform is to have a single ballot, because it is the use of the multiple ballots that enables fraud to occur. If we could only get those 2 reforms, there are about 11 reforms which all the political parties agree on. But if we could only get those 2, it will completely change the nature of the Cameroonian election. So we are saying a coalition of political parties, but not only political parties, also civil society, also religious leaders, to come up and say we need a good election in Cameroon for 2025. We need fundamental reforms to take place for 2025. Nobody has printed a ballot paper yet. We can still go for single ballot. We can still go for 2-round election. So there is enough time to carry out those reforms. So the coalition is for 2 things. Number 1, reform. Number 2, we have said, let us not go to elections and have our caller from Santa Menka, his life should not be in danger because he wants to go and vote. So let us have a road plan. Have a roadmap to say this is how we are getting out of the crisis in the northwest region, in the southwest region, and in the extreme north region. We have to discuss these things before elections. We cannot go to election and put people's lives at risk because there is an election. There's a very simple question. In 2018, Mr. KUM, you reminded me that Mr. Joshua Osi, Mr. Cabral Libi, Mr. Kamto, they all went for election in 2018. I have another question for you. Which of them campaigned in the Northwest and the Southwest?
I don't know.
Which of them campaigned in the Northwest? So you are saying we should have an election where those who want to be president.
I am not saying those
who want to be president find it too risky to go to certain parts of Cameroon. They who are candidates and who can be president of the nation tomorrow, it's too risky for them to go to certain parts of the country.
They have declared that they are running for elections. I hope they expect to win elections in the Southwest and Northwest regions.
But the people living in those regions should risk their own lives to go for election. That's what we are saying.
Okay.
Is that it's okay for somebody not to campaign in certain regions, but the people who live in those regions should risk their lives to go and vote. This does not make sense to me, Mr. KUM. Okay. So this is the coalition that we are talking about. We are not talking about a coalition behind Madame Kah Wallah or behind... And I want to conclude on that. That coalition of all the candidates coming together behind one candidate is almost impossible to obtain, as we have seen over the last 30 years. Why? Because, one, these are people with political ambition. Each of them believes they are the greatest president for Cameroon, and it is their right to do so. Number two, you are asking people to come together on issues where they have fundamental differences as to where the country should go. Mr. Cabral Libi's program of what does he call it?
It's communal federalism.
Yes, communal federalism is not Mr. Osi's program. It is not Mr. Kamto's program. If you ask me as a political leader, I fundamentally disagree with that program. So how will I go and put myself behind somebody? It is not that I don't like the person. It's not that I have a big ego. It is not that I have anything. But I don't agree with how the person is intending to run the country.
Now,
let us stop this obsession with candidates and have a good electoral system. Believe you me, if we have a good electoral system, you might not even be talking about these gentlemen.
Okay.
We will have other candidates coming up who feel comfortable to run.
Hello, Mr. KUM. There is no democracy in Cameroon. All this, those talking about democracy are just among us. We rather need a junta leader. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Cameroon is the only country where all the ministers, governors, top government officials belong to one political party. How can you win such government? We only pray for change. Romanos watching from Yaoundé. Hi, good evening. I'm Claudine watching from Kumbu. Madam, I like your style. Keep it on. Courage. May the Lord Jesus guide you to serve our country. I am Julius writing from Lime. Let all the political parties rally under Maurice Kamto to move the country in another level. I am concerned about the different parties refusing coalition. They don't have Cameroonians at heart. Rather, they focus on themselves, and it's exactly what we are fighting against. We are tired of the 0.002%. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Leo and the Iron Lady. I'm Magne writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm watching in Acacia, BMRC, Yaoundé. I'm enjoying your program. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Joyce watching from Marwa. I love the program. We really need this coalition to bring a change. Good evening, Mr. Leo. We are praying for the change in this country. I hope this year we will have that change. So Bernard is writing from Fiango in Kumba. Okay. Greetings, Mr. KUM. I'm writing from Gaundiri. I'm really enjoying the great and powerful session tonight. God bless you, Mama. Prophet Kari is watching from Gaundiri. My question to her, will she accept and keep the alliance coalition in case we get one? in place if not voted as a presidential candidate? Secondly, has she reached out to any of the main opposition parties for an alliance for the upcoming election? Given we have only 4 months, why has she not been campaigning in northern regions if she never hopes her party to rule? Very few people who identify with the CPP. Amat is writing from Gaundere. Good evening, Mr. Leo and Mirabel. I am watching from Jinibi, Mbengui. Missing Ma Edith Kah Wallah, powerful woman. Always call her on issues like this. Okay, so many persons are missing you.
Yes.
But you've heard some. Can you answer any?
Yes. I think I want to, there's somebody who asked, and you yourself asked earlier, have we reached out to any of the of these candidates? And the answer is of course yes. It is of course yes. Within the last year, we have reached out to every major political leader. And we have reached out to them not for a coalition where we are going to be in front and they are going to be behind, or they are going to be in front, but to talk about these fundamental issues. And again, the job of the citizens, it is, the saying, people have the leaders that they deserve. It is important for citizens to leave the discussion about a coalition behind Cabral Libi or behind OC or behind CAMTU, and come to coalition for the fundamental issues facing the nation. Coalition for electoral reform, coalition for crisis resolution. We have reached out to them. My hope, Mr. KUM, is that now that elections are launched, because I assume that the reason they were not so responsive is that they were busy getting ready for their elections. That's why I say now is the right time. Because now that people are comfortable as candidates and that they have put themselves out as candidates, I hope that we can go to these central issues without which we are not going to have change in Cameroon. So that is my comment. Please, I think the people still missing me, they came in the middle of the program because I gave news about myself, of everything that we have been doing. We have chosen in the last few years to be less in the media and more on the ground. More on the ground and more on the fundamental issues that Cameroonians are facing. And we know that makes you miss us. We miss you too. But sometimes when you are busy talking so much and not doing things on the ground, you can get a little bit confused. We think that the reason we are firm in our beliefs, in our conviction about fundamental change for Cameroon is because of the work we do on the ground.
Okay. I'll endeavor to get some messages. So many of them. Good evening to you, Mr. Leo and Mama Edith. I'm enjoying your program. This is Roger watching us from Bafanji. Let's say Bafanji Singo Ketunja. Good evening. Benwell watching from Kumbo. I think Madam Kah Wallah's ideas are good, and we need people like her to liberate Cameroon. Good evening, Sir KUM, and to you, Madam Edith. My opinion to this matter is, as far as the presidential elections is concerned, is that we as Cameroonians and Africans have never had a country with change through democracy. Our military should put an end to, Eno is writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. KUM and Madam Kah Wallah. Please ask Madam Kah Wallah how the reforms can be done by the same match officials she has analyzed.
Yes.
I think even if all political parties decide not to run for elections, the elections will still hold. After all, CBDM will create its own opposition and still justify the elections. Hilary Tebit is writing from Amenda.
Great. Thank you, Hilary. Very great question. We live in a dictatorship, and I will invite Hilary to use his Google and say, how do you bring an end to a dictatorship? And he will discover that it is through people power. So when we are talking about a coalition, we're not just talking about political leaders going to discuss with the government. We are talking about a coalition of leaders with Cameroonians mobilized behind to carry out non-violent action. There is no way we are going to obtain change without movement from the people. And right now, there was somebody in Yaoundé who said he doesn't think change can happen and he's going to pray. Please pray, but I think God has done his or her part for Cameroon. We are a very blessed country, and now we must act. So if you are wondering what to do, I mentioned that right now we are carrying on training programs, Mr. KUM. So you now have two things to share. One is the document. Two is training, is the elements for training programs where we are teaching young Cameroonians how to engage politically. Better understanding of the political system, better understanding of the electoral system, and what you can do with a good understanding of this system, without lies, without stories, without somebody just telling you that, oh, just go and register and vote and protect your vote and then you are going to get change. That's not going to happen. But there are many, many things we can do as citizens, and we need to get busy.
Yes, but you want a coalition.
Yes.
Of civil society.
Yes.
Political actors.
Yes.
And everybody.
Religious leaders. Yes.
To demand for electoral reforms.
Yes.
And then go for elections.
And a roadmap. And go for elections.
And go for elections.
Mr. KUM.
Yes, because I don't want.
I believe.
Get
in democracy.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, in democracy, you must always have elections.
Okay.
But the elections are the end, not the beginning. You must ensure fundamental rights. You must ensure a proper electoral process.
Okay.
And then you can talk about elections.
I asked you earlier on how you intend to fix Cameroon if you were given opportunity.
Yes.
Through the CPP.
Yes.
And you said, okay, 40% of resources
Yes.
should be sent down. Power should move from the central
Yes.
to the respective communities.
Regions. Yes.
But what if you were to transfer these resources and powers to people who themselves are not prepared?
Oh.
Would they still not embrace it?
Okay, I gave you a short answer. So, the process for the CPP, as you well know, number one is political transition. For us, we must go through a transition period. During the transition period, the first item in transition is empowering the people.
Okay.
We have been under dictatorship for 65 years now. So we must educate people with regard to their rights. We must educate people with regard to how to choose a leader and how to sanction a leader. This is the second time I've said sanction, because our leaders are our employees. They are there to serve us. If they do a good job, we elect them again. If they do a bad job, we remove them from office. If they embezzle money, we must apply the rule of law. So there is a period to inform and train citizens about their rights so that we can even carry out proper elections and participate in governance. Number two is that's why I talk about systemic change. We have to transform the system. Today in Cameroon, it is accepted, completely accepted, for a government official. Somebody was complaining to me the other day about a mayor whose budget for his entire municipal council is less than 500 million francs CFA, but he's building, and since he got into office, no road, no bridge, no major municipal project other than somehow from somewhere he is building a personal house which costs more than 300 million. So the question, very simple question, is where is the money from? And we live in an age today where we can trace money. Money is traceable.
Yeah.
Let me give you another simple element that would, in our opinion, cut corruption by close to half in this country. Stop cash payments. We are a government that behaves as if there is no banking system. You go to the Cameroonian government. Do you know, when I ran for president in 2011, at the time the deposit that you had to pay was 5 million francs CFA. Do you know I had to carry 5 million francs in cash and go to the National Treasury? The National Treasury of Cameroon pays suppliers in cash.
Yeah, maybe then. I'm not sure. I don't know what it takes today.
Do you see the origin? Every day, Mr. Kum, every blessed day, we are hearing about 500 million being stolen from a minister's house, 300 million being stolen from a minister's house.
That's not official money.
Milliards being stolen.
That's not official money.
How did the minister get the money? The salary of a minister in Cameroon is not up to 1 million francs. How did they get 300 million?
Maybe some of them do business.
No. And if they do, we want to see the accounts of that business. As I told you, I've recently been rereading the Constitution. The Constitution of Cameroon has an Article 66. Every public official at every level is supposed to declare their finances so that we know what is their financial situation. Why is this not being applied? So you see that there are some very simple things. We stop cash payments right from the municipality. Today we live in a world where if you want to send money to me, Mr. Kum, you go to a telephone and you do a traceable transaction. Why are our government offices still dealing in cash if it is not to facilitate stealing?
Okay.
Why doesn't government have accounts from which they make transfers?
Okay. Melanie from Tico says we just multiply people and train them on political transition. Okay. Mr. Kum, kindly connect me to Madam Kah Wallah for training on politics.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm Kum from Bamenda. My suggestion is that all political parties should come together just to remove, the president. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm enjoying Madam Kah Wallah. More power to her, seeing her to be the first female president in Cameroon. Yupogo writing from Simbok in Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Leo. All the candidates are not going for the interests of the people, but for their selfish reasons. And Mr. Leo, I'm afraid Cameroon has not got a candidate for these presidential elections that can free Cameroon from bad government. Etienne is writing from BMRC in Yaoundé. Greetings, Mr. Kum. I'm watching from Cameroon, Abakwa town. I love Kah Wallah. Ideas, the playing field is not level. So what do we do? Reject the elections, to use his network and seize another 7 years? I know he and his party will create new opposition parties and everything will go on. This one says, I'm not seeing the change coming if political parties in Cameroon have their own style of coalition, not the one that we know. And we are going to be calling it a wrap at this juncture. Madam Kah, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you out there who were watching and listening. And please do get in touch and do not be defeated. It is a political moment. It is an opportunity for us, and we must seize the moment and bring about change for our beloved Cameroon.
Thank you all for watching, and to you for production. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.